Every year, someone says, this is the year movies came back. Most years, they're lying. But 2026? 2026 is different. We are barely 4 months into this year, and we already have a legitimate all-time sci-fi classic, a horror sequel that rivals its predecessor, a Sam Raimi return to form, and one of the most divisive love stories in years. Today, we're counting down the top 10 best movies of 2026 so far, with honest verdicts, no hype, no sugarcoating. Let's get into it. Before we get into the full breakdowns, here's your top 10 at a glance. Number 10 through to number 1. And trust me, by the end of this list, you will have a full watch list for the rest of the month. Let's count it down. Kicking off the list at number 10, Scream 7. The franchise that refuses to die. And honestly, thank God for that. Scream 7 does exactly what the best entries in this series do. It plays with the rules. It tricks you into thinking you know what's coming, and then it pulls the rug out completely. Is it the best Scream? No. Does it do enough to earn its place in the franchise and on this list? Absolutely. If you love horror and you haven't caught up with this one, it's a genuinely fun cinema experience. Score, 7 out of 10. At number 9, Wuthering Heights. Directed by Emerald Fennell, the woman who gave us Saltburn, this is exactly as bold, provocative, and divisive as you'd expect. Fennell takes Emily Bronte's classic and strips it down to its most raw, uncomfortable emotional core. This is not a gentle period romance. This is obsession. This is toxicity dressed up in beautiful cinematography. Some people will love it. Some will walk out confused. That reaction alone tells you Fennell did her job. It's not for everyone, but as a piece of filmmaking, it's genuinely impressive. Score, 7.5 out of 10. Number 8, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Directed by Gore Verbinski, the man behind the original Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy, this is one of the most purely entertaining films of the year. A man from the future walks into a diner in Los Angeles and has to recruit a group of strangers to help him stop a rogue AI from destroying the world. That premise sounds insane, and the movie absolutely delivers on it. Sam Rockwell is magnetic. The script is clever, funny, and propulsive. It's the kind of original blockbuster Hollywood rarely makes anymore, and it deserves far more attention than it got. Score, 7.5 out of 10. Number 7, Crime 101. Chris Hemsworth puts Thor firmly in the rearview mirror with this gritty, 1970s feeling LA crime thriller. A group of Miami cops find a stash of millions in cash, and suddenly, nobody trusts nobody. Directed by Joe Carnahan, with a cast that includes Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, this is the kind of adult crime thriller that used to dominate Hollywood before superhero films took over. Raw, tense, brilliantly paced, and Hemsworth proves beyond any doubt that he has genuine dramatic range when given the right material. Score, 8 out of 10. Number 6, Hoppers. In a year full of dark, intense cinema, Hoppers is the breath of fresh air nobody knew they needed. This Pixar adventure follows two best friends, Poppy and Alex, who couldn't be more different but spend one magical week together every summer. It sounds simple, but in the hands of Pixar's storytelling machine, simple becomes devastating. This film will make you laugh, make you think about your own friendships, and then absolutely destroy you emotionally in the final act. The fact that it's animated doesn't make it any less of a masterpiece. Pixar reminded us why they are the greatest storytellers in the game. Score, 8 out of 10. Number 5, Send Help. Sam Raimi is back, and he brought everything. Two colleagues survive a plane crash and end up stranded on a deserted island. Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, two actors who are absolutely on fire right now, carry this film with performances that go from hilariously funny to genuinely terrifying within the same scene. This is Raimi operating at his most goofy, unhinged. The script is wickedly clever, the survival set pieces are inventive, and the dark humor lands perfectly every single time. This is the kind of thing that reminds you why Sam Raimi is one of the most distinctive directors working today. Score, 8 out of 10. Number 4, Dead Man's Wire. Directed by Gus Van Sant, one of America's most important filmmakers, this is based on the real 1977 story of Tony Kiritsis.
who strapped a sawed-off shotgun to a mortgage company president's neck with a dead man's wire and walked him through downtown Indianapolis, demanding justice. Bill Skarsgård plays Karitzis with a frightening, unpredictable intensity. Al Pacino, as his hostage, delivers one of his best performances in years. This is the kind of real-world thriller that gets under your skin because it actually happened. Gus Van Sant builds the tension slowly, methodically, and the result is absolutely gripping. Score, 8.5 out of 10. Number 3. 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Directed by Nia DaCosta and written by Alex Garland, this horror sequel does something rare. It surpasses its predecessor. Young survivalist Spike finds himself pulled into the orbit of the terrifying Sir Jimmy Crystal and his gang on the mainland. What follows is one of the most genuinely frightening horror films in years. DaCosta builds dread the way great horror directors do, slowly, atmospherically, and with complete control over when to release the tension. This is not cheap jump scare horror. This is the kind of film that stays with you for days. The zombie mythology is expanded in fascinating ways, and the ending leaves the door open for more in a way that actually makes you desperate to see what comes next. Score, 8.5 out of 10.
Number 2, Project Hail Mary. And honestly, this came within inches of taking the top spot. Ryan Gosling plays Ryland Grace, a science teacher who wakes up alone on a spacecraft light years from Earth with absolutely no memory of how he got there. His crewmates are dead, the sun is dying, and he is humanity's last hope to save everything. Directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, the duo behind the Spider-Verse films, this is a near miraculous piece of cinema. It has the intelligence of Interstellar, the warmth of The Martian, and a third-act friendship that will break your heart completely. The alien character Rocky alone is one of the greatest movie creations of the decade. The relationship between Grace and Rocky, built entirely without spoken language, is the emotional engine of the entire film, and Gosling delivers his best performance since La La Land. At $573 million worldwide, audiences have spoken. This is the sci-fi film of the generation. Critics agree, 94% on Rotten Tomatoes, and the CinemaScore audience rating? A perfect A. Score? 9.5 out of 10. And my number 1 movie of 2026 so far is not the one you expected. Pillion. I know, you came here expecting Project Hail Mary at the top, and I will not argue with anyone who puts it there. But as a critic, my job is to tell you what I genuinely believe is the most important piece of cinema this year. And right now, that is Pillion. Directed by Harry Lighton in a remarkable debut, this film follows a timid man who is completely swept off his feet when an enigmatic, impossibly charismatic biker takes him on as his passenger. Alexander Skarsgård is extraordinary, magnetic, dangerous, and strangely tender all at once. Harry Melling as his counterpart delivers the kind of quietly devastating performance that awards bodies will be talking about by December. What makes Pillion special is what it refuses to do. It refuses to judge its characters. It refuses to look away from the uncomfortable places it goes. And it refuses to give you the ending you think you want, giving you instead the ending that is true. This is the kind of film that only gets made once in a while. Bold, unconventional, and completely alive. Pillion is my number 1 film of 2026, and I believe by the end of the year the rest of the world will catch up. Score? 9.5 out of 10. That is your top 10 best movies of 2026 so far. And here is the big picture. We are only 4 months in. Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey is coming. Spielberg's Disclosure Day. Spider-Man Brand New Day. The second half of this year could be one of the greatest runs of blockbusters we have ever seen. 2026 is not just a good year for movies. It might be a historic one. Which film from this list have you already seen? And which one are you watching first? Drop it in the comments below. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this breakdown, hit subscribe because we have ratings, reviews, and breakdowns coming every single week. See you in the next one.